What is up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning back into day 25. I know it's been a few days since I've posted a vlog. Actually, I think it's been about a week, and that is because we have had some insane neighbor drama in regards to our cars. So let me start by going ahead and explaining everything that has been going on. Now, I have been living in an airboat community for quite some time, and that is because it is outside of the city. There is no HOA, and on top of that, all of our neighbors have loud toys, especially airboats, which for the most part, for our neighbors at least, are open header LS engine airboats, which, as you can imagine, are pretty loud. And if you can see right behind me, the canal is right there, and it runs down the street, so past everyone's houses. So we moved into this neighborhood thinking that it wouldn't be very disruptive. But after living here, now all of a sudden our neighbors have taken up to threatening us about how loud the cars is, which I personally think is insane. So we had originally tried to talk to them to find a resolution about how we could be quieter. And they have just decided to be absolutely bonkers, rude, mean Karens, essentially, which means that the only solution to that is to continue to have loud cars. We're going to try and be as quiet as we can, but I mean, let's be honest, our cars are loud, just like everyone else's airboats. So this went on for a few days, and it just absolutely wrecked my mental health of not really knowing what to do, not knowing how to resolve the situation, and more importantly, I just put a new exhaust on my Lotus Elise, and I haven't even really driven it around the neighborhood, so I've just been wrecked with anxiety and these thoughts of panic over driving my project car that I have spent a long time working on, about a year now since I started the repaint, which is insane because my exhaust on this car is completely legal in the state of Florida. Now, granted, for the most part, we don't have problems with almost any of our other neighbors. They come over, they hang out, they like the loud cars, we like their loud airboats, right? Except we've got this one neighbor that lives across the canal here who is now taken to, honestly, in my opinion, if anyone was going to complain about us being loud, it would be these people. But instead, they're complaining about us having a completely legal fire pit in the yard. So I have decided that this will be our new garage homie. And garage homie is going to stand guard in the yard while our neighbor takes creepy pictures of us. Now, even though I haven't been posting, I have been getting some work done on the Elise. So we're going to skip back a few nights and I'm going to show you some footage of how I was able to figure out the issue that has been plaguing me with the Lotus Elise electronics. This has been an absolute nightmare. If you guys have been following, you know that my dashboard lights haven't worked, and more importantly, my tail lights haven't been working, or my license plate lights. So here's how we were able to resolve that. Okay, I couldn't get the battery jump started, so I just stole a battery out of another car, hooked it up because I wasn't really going that far, and now she is in the garage and sounds kind of bad, honestly. So what we're gonna do tonight is, luckily, because I have a quick detached steering wheel, this should be an easier job than necessary. Take the steering wheel off, take the bonnet off, pull all of this out, which once you have this plastic piece that's literally Velcroed, it is Velcroed on. Go in, take out this piece, take out the piece behind it, and then we're gonna pull the relay panel from behind it, and hopefully that will be the issue that is causing the tail lights not to turn on, because I have brake lights right now. I pinned out everything in the rear side of the light harness. That was fine. All of my fuses were fine. Every other relay that we could find in the car was fine, but my headlights also aren't turning on and my dash light also isn't turning on, so I guess that's all one related problem we're gonna try and get to the bottom of tonight. So I started by pulling off the dashboard, only to discover that most of these plastic tabs were actually broken. Actually, pretty much everything in here was broken or missing screws. I went ahead and took off the steering wheel just to make it a little bit more accessible to get back behind the dashboard. Once I had the biblical gauges removed, it was really easy to just unclip all of the harnesses, pull it out, and put the new part in, which ended up being the problem. There are very few times in the garage where you start a project from the beginning, you work your way through a project, and you finish it with complete success, and I am super excited that this is one of those nights, because this was really one of the last few things that I needed to do to the car. We put the switch pack in from the donor release that's basically out in the swamp. We tested it out, everything worked. I now have taillights, I now have dash lights. It is super exciting because this is something I have been dreading and doing electrical diag on for a while now. So I'm super excited to get the car back together, but We still have to do harnesses, we still have to do the harness bar and all of the inboard techs. Now that that is fixed, we have trickled back down to the only problem that I had had with this engine. Now originally when I had opened up the engine to look at the internals, I was really surprised by how clean everything looked on the inside, including the cams, but my VVT isn't kicking in. I've gone through the forums and I think this solenoid right here is my problem, but unfortunately it's in this really precarious spot. So while normally a VVT solenoid shouldn't be hard to get to, it is actually underneath this unbendable hose right here. So we're going to have to tear a bunch of stuff out of this just to replace the solenoid. Now granted, I don't know the last time that this solenoid was replaced, so hopefully it can't hurt, but I'm not confident that it is going to fix the problem. I also know that other people have spent thousands of dollars trying to fix this problem, and it ended up being one of these fuses in these two fuse packs back here. So we're also going to check those out as well. But we happen to have a spare VVT solenoid sitting around, like we had a spare fuse panel pack or a relay pack, whatever was in the dashboard. Anyways, I know today was a short episode. I know I owe you guys a ton of catch-up content. Thank you so much for being patient. I just wanted to hop on here and kind of explain what has been going on, why I haven't been posting, but we have a ton of stuff planned over the next, well, few days and of course the next few weeks, some insane builds that we've got coming. So if you guys like this style of content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting, especially through all of this crazy car stuff that's been going on.